Hello and welcome back to your most amazing top 10. I'm Rebecca Felgate and today we're talking about the top 10 laws that Donald Trump doesn't have to follow, which is kind of a contradiction on itself because the President of the United States of America means that you have a duty to uphold all of the laws. That being said, there are some perks that allow the President to be above the law in ways usual citizens just aren't. So let's start with the small stuff and see how far above the law Donald Trump really is. Coming in at number 10, he doesn't have to pay for travel. Not paying for travel can in some circumstances be against the law. For example, have you ever been caught hopping a train without a ticket? They just don't really like it that much. The President will never have to pay for travel ever again. Whilst he's in office, he can ride in the presidential limousine dubbed the Beast. Bulletproof and bomb-proof, the Beast is worth around $1.5 million. He can also travel in Air Force One, the President's private jet, and Marine One, a specialized helicopter. When he's out of office, he can claim money to cover all of his office and travel expenses. So no more bus tickets for Trump. Coming in at number 9, while he's president, Trump doesn't have to pay a mortgage or rent for himself or his family. Being a president means that you have sweet digs at zero cost. Running water, electric, central heating, no worries, the country has you covered. Also, you get a nice country home in the form of Camp David in Frederick County, Maryland. On top of that, he also gets a guest house for his friends in the 120-room Blair House in Washington, D.C. I guess not so much a law, but who else do you know that can live for free with no need to pay bills? Okay, I could really get on board with this one. Coming in at number 8, Trump doesn't have to pay for food. Like, I'm pretty sure that he could in theory walk into Subway and ask for a footlong and it would be on the house. Although Trump doesn't actually need a sub with his presidential perks. Honey has himself a chef. Every president since JFK has had an executive chef. The current exec chef is Cressetta Comerford, the first woman and first person of Asian descent to hold the post. Thanks to Michelle Obama, Trump, Barron, Melania and the rest of the gang can also enjoy fresh vegetables at whim. The former FLOTUS created a huge White House fruit and vegetable garden. Coming in at number 7, a huge benefit. Trump never has to work again. I guess it isn't the law to have to work, but Trump doesn't have to do anything else to gain money if he doesn't want to. Aside from the fact that, yeah, he is a billionaire in his own right, the General Services Administration is required to furnish former presidents with enough money to travel and cover all business expenses forever. On top of that, he gets a pension of $205,750 when he retires. Trump will be 74 when his current term is up, which is a very respectable retirement age. Okay, here is where stuff gets a bit shady for a president. The next 6 points really do kind of put the prez above the law. Coming in at number 6, he can create new laws. I mean, can you create new laws? No. No, you can't. There are a handful of people in the United States who can create laws, and the prez is pretty much the key player. First of all, he does need to get his laws through Congress, and then, once they approve, he signs them off. Of course, he doesn't actually need Congress when he's working using executive orders, which we will get into later. Coming in at number 5, he can breach human rights. While a president on the surface is not allowed to breach human rights, some things that are or have been done have been huge grey areas. For example, many experts are saying that leaving the Paris Agreement could be a breach of human rights. They say the United States has a human rights obligation to protect the environment. Whether or not that would stand up in court, who knows? Again, the president could be breaching human rights by deporting mass number of immigrants, including refugees and those on temporary visas. Of course, he has also revoked workplace protection for women that ensured equal pay and is currently dismantling fair processes on sexual harassment cases. Also, let's not get into the Dakota Access Pipeline because... Coming in at number 4, Trump is apparently exempt from conflict of interest laws. Title 18, Section 208 of the US Code in Congress exempts the president and vice president from conflict of interest laws based on the notion that the president has so much power that most actions he does poses a potential conflict. Coming in at number 3, he is exempt from the Anti-Lobbying Act, apparently. Trump was recently accused of breaking the Anti-Lobbying Act when he tweeted about the need for the public to support the American Healthcare Act and the need to lobby against Obamacare. The law says the administration can't use federal money to favor, adopt, or oppose by vote or otherwise any legislation, law, refraction, policy, or appropriation. Coming in at number 2, he can launch an attack on a country. Trump managed to send his missiles to Syria without without going through Congress. While he did let Congress know, they weren't actually given a say. This breaches the War Powers Resolution Act of 1973, although there is a loophole. The president is given leeway to respond to attacks or other emergencies. Presidents Bush and Obama have used the same loophole to launch military action in their terms too. So this leads me to the number one way Trump can avoid the law, and we have by his executive actions. So in theory, the president is not above the law, but he kind of is when he deploys executive orders or actions. When using executive powers, Trump can sign actions he wants without approval of Congress. Executive powers are derived from Article 2 of the Constitution. When an executive order is in place, the president can act against the usual way of the Constitution, and sometimes he's able to act unilaterally. There are some restrictions. Executive orders are supposed to work within the law already available. He's also supposed to work with already available funding, but many say that it allows the president to actually change the law. Basically, when it comes to the law and the president, it's complicated. He definitely has powers, us mere mortals don't. I guess what we need is a good team of people making sure the president is fully accountable for his actions. Like, for example, the Federal Bureau of Investigations. I guess that goes for when they aren't being fired or silenced. Yeah. So that was the top 10 laws Donald Trump doesn't have to follow. Did I leave anything out? Let me know in the comments section down below. For now, I'm Rebecca Felgate. This has been Most Amazing Top 10. If you like this video, make sure you give it a good thumbs up, share it with a friend, and stay subscribed for more lists coming at you every day. I'll see you next time.